Coming up on Night Vision News, Wartburg students staying on campus over break have access to healthy food that they might not know about.
The Waverly Shell Rock High School robotics team is preparing for competition. And one player on the Wartburg volleyball team is seeing national level recognition. This is Night Vision News. Good morning and welcome to Night Vision News. I'm Sophie Reeder.
And I'm Alexa Gansfeld. Looking at our first story this morning. At Wartburg College, many students suffer from food insecurity. I went and took a look at how college students can combat the issue. At Wartburg College, many students suffer from food insecurity. During breaks when dining services aren't available, students that stay on campus lack the resources to healthy, filling meals. St. Elizabeth's Bread Basket was created to combat this growing issue.
The St. Elizabeth Bread Basket is a program that was set up last year, and it is to help any student who remains on campus over breaks and may find themselves to be food insecure. And they can just come in during any of the breaks. We have certain hours when the bread basket is open, and they can help themselves to some free groceries.
During each campus break, an increasing number of both domestic and international students utilize the pantry. The food pantry assists students who lack dining points, money, or transportation to purchase their own food.
In this form, we've been doing it for a year. There was a program before this that was more limited in scope, but we now partner with the Northeast Iowa Food Bank, and we get our groceries from there, and we have a lot more selection, and we can serve a lot more students.
Wartburg College Student Life and Volunteer Action Center have teamed up with Northeast Iowa Food Bank to distribute a wide range of food, including fresh produce and baked goods. The collaboration allows Wartburg College to purchase food items directly from the food bank at a greatly reduced rate.
It makes my life easier, especially as an international student, because I have so many things to worry about, like taxes, tuition is getting higher every year, and then but because of that program, I'm able to save more money than I usually before.
According to the Wartburg College website, the Fund the Fortress crowdfunding campaign will allow St. Elizabeth Bread Basket to provide campus break food options for students for years to come. The pantry is in the Saman Student Center's Student Life office, free of charge for all students. For Night Vision News, I'm Alexa Gansfeld. According to the Wartburg College website, the Fund the Fortress crowdfunding campaign will allow St. Elizabeth Bread Basket to provide campus break food options for students for years to come.
Wartburg's literary magazine, The Castle, is up and running again. Looking to publish short stories, poetry, and graphic novels, they are seeking student submissions. The fall deadline is today, October 18th, but the staff encourages students to begin submitting pieces for winter term's publication as well. They also hope students of every background and major submit work to the publication.
Writing isn't just for English majors. Some of the best authors in the world didn't study English. And this isn't an English department program, it's a student program, it's for everybody.
Keep your eyes peeled around campus for the published Castle later this term. Also, be sure to follow the Castle on Instagram to get more information and submission details, inspirational quotes, and writing tips.
With fall break on the mind of many Wartburg students, Night Vision News' Ryan Riebenacker took the time to point out how some Wartburg students to dedicate their break to Wartburg service trips.
Dozens of Wartburg students take part in Wartburg service trips every year, traveling to many different places and helping various communities. Service trip members have contributed in ways like helping to build a house, providing education assistance, and many more, all during their school breaks. Service Trip Student Director Maddie Barr has a strong belief in the value of these service trips on the Wartburg experience.
In my opinion, every Wartburg student should go on a service trip. You do not realize how impactful, one, it is to you, but also to the people that actually you are kind of given to on the service trip. We kind of have this thing we talk about that you give, but you actually get back more.
Several service trips are deployed over every break, with no two service trips being completely alike. Barr shared her team's process of trying to make every trip unique by varying jobs and destinations, as well as the groups of students. Barr also pointed out the impact that students can have on their communities before and after graduation.
It's our job then to bring back what we have learned and how we have served to the Wartburg community as well as Waverly.
As Barr said, Service Trips is providing students with a way to make a difference in many people's lives. For Night Vision News, I'm Ryan Riebenecker.
For more information or to find out how you can get involved in service trips, contact Maddie Barr at maddie.barr@wartburg.edu.
Last week was homecoming week here at Wartburg, and despite the weather, the festivities continued. The Renaissance Fair, held on Wartburg's campus lawn, provided homecoming visitors with lots of activities from organization booths on and off campus. Organizations represented, including Wartburg College Concert Bands, Wartburg Dance Marathon, the National Guard, Ninja U, Wartburg Music Therapy, and many more. Food was provided by vendors, as well as campus's own Asian Student Association.
Later in the day, those who stayed on campus had the chance to participate in Wartburg's own Oktoberfest. While the conditions for this Saturday may not have been great, those who decided to stay on campus still found something to look forward to at this year's celebration. Participants were served plates of hot food and a wide variety of beverages to choose from. A staple of German celebrations, beer, was also in full attendance. Last week's weather was less than ideal, so let's hope next week is looking a little nicer. Sophie?
Well, while we will not see the sun a lot, we will get some higher temperatures. Starting today, we have a high of 67 degrees with a low of 50, and it's going to be some partly cloudy skies. On Saturday, the rain is unfortunately going to return, but with a high of 62. Sunday, we're looking at a high of 62 again with some partly cloudy skies. Monday, we'll unfortunately get some more showers. We're looking at a high of 55 with a bit of a cooler day. Going into Tuesday and Wednesday, it looks like the rain will disappear for a little bit with a high of 51 and 55. And on Thursday, the rain will come back, so make sure you have your umbrellas with a high of 51. After the break, we'll take a look at the nuts and bolts of local competition.
Do you know what to do if you're stuck on the railroad crossing? Get out of your vehicle. If a train is not approaching, find the blue and white emergency notification system sign on the traffic signs at the crossing. For help, call the number on the sign and give them the crossing number so they know your location and can alert train traffic. Remember, find the blue and white to save your life.
Welcome back. The robotics team from Waverly Shell Rock High School is gearing up for a new season. Night Vision News' Ethan Faltzgraf brings us the story.
M4 is port 0.
Waverly Shell Rock's Robotics Club is sending 2 teams to Wapsie Valley on October 26th to compete in the first Tech Challenge qualifiers. If they win this competition, they would put themselves on a path that would ultimately lead to the first Tech Challenge World Championships in April.
I've always really wanted to go to Worlds. It's called this grand championship where you compete against different robotics teams all throughout the nation. It would cost us quite a bit to actually travel to Worlds, but to actually compete in it would be a really big honor.
This will be the club's 3rd year competing with the Wave Droids team, now 12 members strong. Last year, the creation of a 2nd team called the Shellbots was necessary due to an increase in interest for the program. They now have 15 members on their team and will also be competing this year.
The first year was a lot of trial by fire, kind of drinking from a fire hydrant, trying to just understand what is it we need to do. And I would say that some things are smoother now in year 3 just because we know what to expect, but it's still very fluid. So we're constantly in a state of flux, but we do have a better handle on what it is we need to try to get done by when in order to be as successful as possible.
I think that we have a lot more structure this year. I think we have a better idea of what we're getting into. I really think we're probably on track with progress like we have in the past couple of years. So I think that we're maintaining where we've been at. Sometimes it's hard to kind of tell where each team is at because each season is so different with the different games and what you have to have prepared for each competition. But I think that we're on our way to doing what we need to do to compete.
And different they are. Previous years have featured challenges inspired by Indiana Jones and the Mars Rovers, while this year's theme is Star Wars. Still, though, the challenges do follow a common formula, a 2.5-minute showdown split into 2 segments.
The first 30 seconds is what's called the autonomous mode. So you'll hear Gaston, or might hear Gaston talking about that a little bit. He's one of our programmers, and he is really good at making that robot understand, here's what you need to do in order to score points in autonomous. And so that means that when our competitors up at the field hit go, the robot knows exactly what it needs to do within the field. It knows how far to travel, how, like I should go and pick up a block that has a black square on it and then move so many feet one direction and so many feet another direction and set it down in a specific place and therefore score points.
After the autonomous mode, the teams then go into remote control mode for the final 2 minutes, where a team member picks up a controller and guides the robot into doing various tasks. After the challenges are announced in September, the students meet weekly to work on their bots. The robots are a huge passion project for the students and take a lot of time to perfect.
How many hours? We meet every week for about 3 to 4 hours, so a lot.
One thing's for sure, both teams will surely show their competitive streaks this coming Saturday. For KV News, I'm Ethan Faltzgraff.
If you would like to watch the Wave Droids and Shellbots compete, they will be participating in the qualifiers at Wapsie Valley High in Fairbank at 8 a.m. on October 26th. The WSR Robotics Club is also looking for volunteers to help with outreach, team organization, and judging. If you have an interest in technology and want to lend a hand, you can get in touch with Leslie Potter at her email address below.
Yesterday, October 18th, saw a death of Congressman Elijah Cummings. He was 68 years old and still actively involved in congressional committees at the time of his death. Originally from Baltimore, Cummings served in the Maryland House of Delegates for 13 years, then in the U.S. House of Representatives for 23. Throughout his political career, Cummings was a longtime advocate for civil rights, was the chairman of the House Committee on Oversight and Reform, and recently gained national attention for leading the charge for an impeachment inquiry to President Donald Trump. Cummings passed away in his hometown of Baltimore from complications with his ongoing health. Coming up, we'll have an interview live in studio after the break.
What are you doing in there? What's that?
I wouldn't do that. What are you doing? What are you looking for?
Awkward. Do I look familiar? I should. You might remember me from here. Here. Or maybe even here.
But an awkward silence can be a great thing.
It can actually be a perfect moment to reach out to a friend and ask if they're okay if they seem down.
Doesn't matter how you say it.
You all right?
Everything's okay?
You all right, girl? You cool?
You bugging dog.
Just show you're there for them.
Go on, Kelly. Seize the awkward.
Hey, you haven't really been yourself lately. Are you okay?
Find out how you can help a friend with their mental health at seizetheawkward.org.
Because of you, I felt hopeless.
I know it was a joke, but it still hurt me.
Because of you, I felt wanted and not alone in this world.
Because you said hi to me on the first day of school, I felt included and I knew that I was going to be okay.
us in studio today is Annie Place of the Wartburg women's soccer team. Wartburg is one of the top teams in the American Rivers Conference with a record of 9-2-3. Annie, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
So I guess just my first question is, how would you say that the season is going so far?
I think the season has been going really great. I think that we're playing at a really high level and our culture is really solid and it's just been a lot of fun.
Okay. Tell me about Tuesday's game upsetting Loris. I mean, that was it was a battle of two of the top teams in the conference.
Definitely, a really, really big win. It's always one of our goals of the season. It's just kind of the direction that we've been heading right now. So moving up, and I think we knew we could do it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How that happened considering last year they actually knocked you out of the conference tournament?
Definitely. It gave us something to fight for, as always. But we knew that that we could do better than them this year, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
okay. What is it like, to be the only team in the conference receiving votes to be nationally ranked?
It's definitely been an honor for sure. I think that because we're playing at such a high level and we're focusing on the little things and getting better, that it's, I think, well deserved, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is your second year on the team. So how would you say that this year's team is different than last year's?
I think that we've really focused even on our mental game this year. We came into the season, like, we read books and we really focused on our culture and how we were treating each other and how our game is mentally out there, and that has really helped a lot, I think.
Yeah, you also have a very young team this year, correct?
Definitely, yep.
Okay. How has that impacted the team?
I think it brings a lot of positives and negatives, or like struggles too, ups and downs. I think it's fun that we're all about the same age too, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Talk to me just about like your team atmosphere.
I think we're really positive this year, as always, but we're really focusing on that a lot, and it's so much fun, and we get along with everyone, and it's just been a really great experience.
Okay. How have some younger players, such as yourself, had to step up into more leadership roles?
Definitely. I think that there's a bunch of us that have. It's more of like a team of leaders, I would say.
Yeah. Okay. This season, you also have a 6-1 record at home. So how does playing at home kind of impact the team?
Oh, well, it's great playing at home. Our nice grass field and our big new stadium, and the fans are always so great, and it's just fun. It gets really excited, the locker room energy, and then we come out and we have dominance over.
Okay.
So.
As you're winding down the season, what will it take to beat Central tomorrow and move farther into the postseason?
I think if we come out tomorrow and just stay really focused on how we've been doing and keep the momentum going up, we can beat Central tomorrow. And if we just keep coming out there as a team together tomorrow too, I think we can keep moving up that way.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much for coming in, Annie.
Thank you for having me.
After the break, we'll be back in studio for more on Wartburg Sports.
Hey Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry, I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I can't change, even if I try. Even if I wanted to, my love, my
our neighbors and best friends.
I love my sister.
My heart doesn't see race. Love is love.
Our family is no less than any other family.
Welcome back. This is Sports with Annika. Looking first at our weekly awards from the American Rivers Conference office, Will Haskin was the only Knight to earn recognition this week. Haskin was named the Special Teams Player of the Week for football after returning a blocked punt 40 yards for a touchdown. He also added 3 tackles in Wartburg's 61-7 homecoming victory over the Nebraska Wesleyan Prairie Wolves. Wartburg is currently ranked 9th in the nation. Wartburg volleyball is on its way to another American Rivers Conference championship. I had the chance to talk to one of its pivotal members. Behind every kill, there's a good set. Behind every set, there's a good dig. And behind plenty of Wartburg's digs is junior libero Katie Foster. Foster is the NCAA digs leader in Division III and ranks 11th nationally in digs per set.
I definitely have to credit my teammate, my coaches, all of that, my parents. It's been fun to see just like how much you can improve in a season, and like coach has this saying like never satisfied, and so when we step into the gym each and every day, he always has some sort of like saying just to keep us motivated. And so I think this year we really talked about the love of the game and how that should just motivate you to keep going after your best.
Foster's love of the game was evident in her decision to come to Wartburg. The June before her first collegiate season, Foster contacted co-head coach Doug Frizzell, asking if there was room on Wartburg's roster. Foster previously committed to the University of Northwestern in St. Paul, Minnesota to run track.
I knew that Katie was a good athlete, great volleyball player, but I had been told that she had committed to another school. So respectfully, whenever somebody is either verbal or whatever, I don't recruit them. But it didn't happen. I knew what kind of high school player she was, and so here she came.
After an injury-prone sophomore season, Foster has honed in on her volleyball skill set, but also injury prevention and diet. In this way, the former young talent has transitioned into a veteran leader.
It's kind of weird to think that, you know, like we're upperclassmen this year and we're only juniors and we still have a year left, but it's definitely been interesting, especially because we have a lot of young players this year, and so I know this year more than past it's been an adjustment for people to play on the court, but it's also been really fun to like encourage them, be their biggest fans.
All in all, Foster has made every transition in her Wartburg volleyball career with ease. Reporting for Night Vision News, I'm Annika Wall. The volleyball team will travel to Dubuque to take on Loras College tomorrow. The game is slated to start at 1 p.m. As we reported last week, Wartburg volleyball co-head coach Jennifer Walker recently picked up her 500th career win just this past Tuesday in a win over Simpson College. However, earlier this week, Walker was presented with an honorary ball from the college to commemorate her status as the winningest coach in Wartburg volleyball history. Walker received the ball shortly before the volleyball team's 4-set win against conference rival Coe College. Turning our gaze to the rapidly approaching winter sports, the American Rivers Conference recently released their preseason coaches' rankings for both the women's and men's basketball teams. The women will come into the season ranked first, coming off a season in which they only graduated one member of their rotation and reached the Elite 8 round of the NCAA tournament. The women also returned conference MVP Emma Gertis for her senior season. For the men, they were selected as the 4th best team in the conference. They graduated their top 2 scorers in Jaron Sabis and Cam Kickbush. The men were upset in the first round of the ARC tournament last season and will look for increased roles from players like junior Max Smith-Dreyhos and seniors Tyler Zumba and Ryan Stolken. Looking at the upcoming schedule for Wartburg athletics, on Saturday, the men's and women's cross-country team will travel to Wisconsin to participate in the College Town Invite. The men will start at 10:30 a.m., while the women will begin at 11:20. While that takes place, the Wartburg football team will take on the Simpson Storm in a highly anticipated matchup of the top 2 schools in the conference. That matchup will be in Indianola starting at 1 p.m. Wartburg soccer will also play on Saturday as they travel to face Central College at 1. And finally, the volleyball team will also start a match at 1 against Loras College. That volleyball matchup will be a winner-takes-first affair as both Wartburg and Loras are undefeated in conference and currently tied for the number 1 seed. After the break, we'll take a look at our top stories.
This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Remember that to love America is to love all Americans, because love has no labels.
If you love them enough to crawl into a play place to get them to come down, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
See on page 4 that the projections need to be tornado next Thursday.
Seriously? Thursday? Can't do that.
This is really inconvenient.
I have yoga that day. I have no time for this. So.
I can't do Thursday, but I can do Friday.
Disasters don't plan ahead. You can. Talk to your loved ones about how you're going to be ready in an emergency. Don't wait. Communicate.
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
What are you doing in there? What's that?
I wouldn't do that. What are you doing? What are you looking for?
Welcome back. A plumbing issue in an Iowa home led to a disgusting scene straight out of a horror movie. A warning that you may find some of these images disturbing. The Listina family were preparing to sell their home in Bagley, Iowa, when their basement started filling with animal blood. A meat locker next door had been dumping remains from hogs and cattle down a floor drain, which turned out to be connected to the family's pipes. The Department of Health quickly got involved, and the family had to be temporarily moved due to the biohazard. Many of the family's belongings in the basement were destroyed by the blood.
Now looking back on today's top stories, Wartburg students staying over break have access to healthy food from the college food pantry. The Waverly Shell Rock High School robotics team is preparing for competition. And Katie Foster leads the NCAA in total digs this volleyball season. Thanks for tuning in to Night Vision News.
To stay up to date with all of our Night Vision News content, be sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter.
Thank you for joining us this morning. For Alexa Ganzeveld and Sophie Reeder, I'm Annika Wall. We'll see you next time.